Right, here we go. Noah, shut it!
What an intro.
Please start it there.
Alright.
No, shut it.
What up, guys, and welcome to the FUT Tiers Podcast. I am Mersgoth, and I'm joined here with LAJS and B-Rad. Do you want to welcome yourselves on, guys?
Hello.
Oh,
how's
it's
it all
another
going?
good week, isn't it?
Yeah,
week.
another week, another weekend of champs done for most people. Not me.
Yeah. First one for
Yeah,
me.
basically, and the first proper promo, I would say, of FIFA 22. I know some people don't really say one to watch is a proper promo realistically, or even though they are getting different upgrades this year. But obviously, we've got the first ever road to the knockout stages. So rather than us having a Halloween-based promo, they've released another UCL promo. So we've got, and also this year, we've got a third tournament, the Conference League. So that adds a few more possibilities for adding players as well. Obviously, they still focus with some of the bigger teams in the bigger leagues. You know, they could have maybe had a Cypriot league or something like that, or Greek league player in there.
Greek
no.
league. Greek league would work. Cypriot
Yeah.
don't exist in FIFA. Does it?
They added another league from around. Is it Malta or something like that? There is
check.
another league from around that I can see.
Okay.
So I'm guessing they must have a team in one of those.
I mean, the
Maybe
League
in the
Brazil's in
Conference
here,
League,
so you know you
potentially.
can't take that for granted. The League
No.
of Brazil exists, but doesn't have a
Granted,
player. Yeah, League of Cyprus. Okay,
But
yeah, I did not know. But there is markets for some bronzes, which is all good.
Exactly. Give them a nice
Yeah,
big
give them a
juicy
promo
upgrade or
card.
something like that.
Applewell.
Exactly. Something
Applewell.
a bit different. But obviously, the way that these work is that they get an upgrade if they qualify for knockout stages, and another upgrade if they win 3 of the 4 remaining games that they've got in their group stages, which is quite interesting for some of these. Because, for instance, in the group that Liverpool are in, they've got Manafa, they've got Robertson, and they've got Danjuma. So
is it Tonali? I thought
Yeah.
AC Milan were in the group with Liverpool.
They are.
Oh, sorry,
Villarreal's
Tonali.
United, didn't they?
Oh, sorry, Villarreal's
Yeah,
United.
it's,
Yes. Sorry, I'm
Tonali,
getting confused
Robertson,
with the teams.
and whatever his name
Which
is. Yeah, Manafa.
means one of those 3 players, I feel. I mean, Robertson's guaranteed, but because AC Milan are currently bottom of their group as well.
Yeah.
So that definitely makes it a bit interesting, because I feel like one of those like Manafa or Tonali aren't going to get the maximum amount of upgrades, and they might only get maybe the one upgrade.
But they might not even
So
get it. Like,
I think
of them's
one-
gonna
I
get
think-
it.
I think-
suppose they might.
Yeah, I think the likelihood is that
yeah.
one of them is not going to get an upgrade at all. In order for them to progress, they're pretty much like AC Milan pretty much have to win 3 games. That probably means that the other one's not going to win 3 games. So yeah, I think I think one of them will miss out.
Yeah.
And also, although it's making it sound like they're only going to add 2 upgrades to this, on the where EA released the details of all of this, the last questions and answers, it says that when the knockout stages begins, they're going to have further possibilities, but they don't actually spell it out like that. They just basically say, as the tournament progresses, there's further opportunities for more promos, basically. So I have a feeling
you're
what
gonna do a
might
road to the
happen.
final.
Yeah, these cards might turn into road to the final cards.
and I reckon
so they might actually get more upgrades.
Yeah, and I reckon what
that's
you'll probably find is where they drop off a pool of players, because obviously around that time you're not going to want to pack Tonali if Tonali's no longer in the road to the final. I think they'll then add in some of the teams that have maybe not got cards in it, and maybe add a few more players and then they'll already be started at a certain rating to match the level of the other cards probably, because they love money, so it makes sense.
But from a trading standpoint, I think a lot of people might not realise that they might turn into Road to the Final cards. So after the group stages are done, obviously people are like, okay, now these cards are done and dusted. They'll just drop off in price. And I reckon in January, February time, when everyone thinks these cards now well and truly done and dusted and dead, might be worth picking some up on the cheap, especially the ones that have made it into obviously the knockout stages and have like the easier matchups fixture, maybe. Yeah, exactly. So that then suddenly when EA go, oh, actually, you know those Road to Knockout stage cards, we're now turning them into Road to the Final, so they're becoming live cards again. And then suddenly, obviously, everyone's then like, oh my god, quick, scramble, quick, buy them up, and obviously they rise up
insane.
In price.
Yeah,
exactly. And then suddenly you're like, ha ha ha, I brought all of those cards for like 20, 30k because you thought they were dead and done and dusted, and now I'm selling them for like 200k or something like that.
Potentially.
That's what happens. Yeah, well, to be fair, in previous years with the trading side of things, with the Road to the Final, the down point was like in January, February type, like early February, and then when it got nearer to when the knockout stages were beginning again, they rose up and you can make easy coins off of them. I know someone like a Kanji, for instance, he was about 60k, and I brought one for my team, and he when the knockout stages began again, he was then like 250k. So there is definitely money to be made. However, one thing we need to discuss about the promo cards, there's some very familiar names, the type of cards that we've seen as special cards in previous years, and I think we've all gone off and picked two names from this current promo that have had previous cards in previous years, not necessarily from the same promo, but just from a promo or another that isn't performance based, and maybe come up with some alternatives that EA might have been able to use instead of those, so we can see some fresher faces in like promos. Because like, say for instance myself, I've picked Sane and Vidal, and those two basically virtually had special cards each since like FIFA 17, 18, like every single year. So it's kind of like, EA, do we really need another Vidal? Do we really need another Sane? Couldn't you just given it to somebody else? And I was looking at an alternative to Sane might be Choupo-Moting, who's always only had performance-based like inform cards, team of seasons, something like that. And Sule as well is another one that they could have potentially done instead. Inter Milan was a bit more interesting. On the Inter Milan side, I think the alternatives were Brozovic, De Vrij, and most interestingly, Skriniar. Skriniar's never had a promo card before, and this year with the pace upgrade that he's had,
he maybe seeing
an upgraded one of those for the Serie A would have been very good. And like, it might have sold packs for EA to make money with FIFA points and stuff like that, because obviously we all know that's a big objective at the end of the day, is making money. But what about you guys? Like, which two players did you pick, and what alternatives would you suggest that could have been in a promo instead?
Do you want to go first, mate, or do you want me to go first?
I can go. I went for a cross between one that's got a lot of performance-based cards and one who's got no performance-based cards until this year. So I'll start with the one that's got no performance-based cards, which is Tonali. His team of the week this year was his first special card that's been on the market, I'm pretty certain.
I saw the memes.
He had last year, obviously, I think he had a Summer Stars or Summer Heats or something like that.
Well, don't forget the one to watch.
We had the one to watch. He had the, I think it must have been 30s. I'm going crazy. And he had the Moments card.
Yep.
He had his Future Stars, which is an SBC, I believe. And he had his premium. He had his League SBC. He's had so many special cards down the years, but none of them actually reached the market. So this is the first technical promo card that's hit the market.
Yeah.
And the other one I went for was someone like Alexander Isak. Personally, I think would probably be the best replacement though for Tonali. Similar style of like a DM. Someone like Bakayoko, maybe. How many special cards do you see Timu Bakayoko get?
Remember the footies one.
Yeah, he had a footies one a couple of years back, but not since like FIFA.
The year he was broken, wasn't it?
Yeah, the year he's broken, he got a footies card, but he doesn't seem to get many these days. Like, it'd be one to revisit. Like we mentioned before recording, like how there's flashback cards are a bit oversaturated at times, and you see same people every couple of years. Probably give it a couple of years off. Bakayoko's not had one in a fair while. I think someone like him bring back an old favourite in a way is like look guys, we're bringing this guy back. It'd have been a nice change of pace instead of here's another Tonali. Yes, it's tradable, but come on.
Yeah.
Isaac, on the other hand, has mainly got only performance-based cards apart from his Summer Stars last year and Future Stars. Like, he had a bunch of informs. He had inform moments or Team of the Week moments when that was a thing in FIFA 20. And he's had a whole bunch of informs, even dating back to his Willem 2 days. He's been a performance-based guy, but he's finally getting a promo on this. But when you look at Real Sociedad for players, you start to go a bit of a you start limping into, oh look, a Yarzabal exists. Oh, Elastundo's recently got an inform.
Nacho
Monreal still play? Give him a wildly stupid card. Like you start scratching and clawing for something like that, but it'd been something different. Maybe if you go for someone like a Nacho Monreal and just chuck some pace on him for no valid reason. There's a little throw to the Rule Breakers promo last year or an Ultimate Scream. Give him a random out of position stat.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing is about like the road to the knockout stage. It's not one of those promos where they actually outrageously change certain stats. It's more, it sort of falls in line with like the way informs work, where all the stats make more sense. And
that's the thing, though. But it does make a bit of a difference if you look at Rodrigo's card. So that's one of the players that I'm looking at. The main reason I'm really looking at him is because it's like, his third year on FIFA? Let's just have a look. Yeah, third year on FIFA.
Yeah.
Where he first had a Future Stars. That's fair enough. He's expected to have that. Last year had a Rule Breakers. Okay, again, he deserves that for Record Breaker. Sorry. Then he got a Showdown card as well, which I'm not saying it's unnecessary. I'm just saying there are other options. Pretty much what we're discussing right now. And then this year, once again, a road to the knockout stages. Now, obviously, from a 79 rated gold rare to an 84 card makes a huge difference on those stats. Like, he's got +6 shooting, +5 pace, +5 dribbling, like +7 passing. It almost makes him like a much more usable card. And his 79 at the start was probably fine, but that makes him like now keeping up with the way the game's going to be moving, and now people are getting rewards. They're getting coins for heroes, icons. He actually now would fit in teams alongside those players. I just think for his third year, it was just a bit unnecessary, given that I was looking at a couple. Vasquez, I know he's a different position. I mean, well, he's had right wing backs in the past, but he is still a right wing on that side. Hasn't had a promo based card other than a performance of Team of the Season or his UCL Man of the Match card last year since FIFA 15 when he came on the game. And so I think like the only other thing he had was in FIFA 20 was one of the storyline cards. So I thought like, you could actually have done that. So he's an 81 rated. Give him an 84 rated card. He becomes like 87 pace, 85 dribbling, almost like 79 shooting, 85 passing. He looks like a really good, like solid right wing. The other card I looked at was Mariano. So he's had weird ones really. He's had like a Team of the Season nominee last year. Yeah. It wasn't a Team of the Season nominee. It was one of those moment nominee. What is it called? Let's have a look.
But say just make sure.
Team of the Season so far moments. There you go. That was the year when the vid hit everyone, we didn't finish that. Other than that, he's had a Team of the Season and then a Showdown card last year again. So he could have been a shoe-in for one this year as well. He's a 75 rated card. You knock him up to like an 82 starting, and again he's got like 84, 85 pace, about 85 or 86 shooting, and potential to go like 85 or 86 physical Like he would have a huge card. The other player that I chose was then Mukiele. So Mukiele's had a few rule breakers. Let's have a look.
Team of the season.
Team of the seasons, yeah, but obviously they deserve to get them to an extent. But I looked again at another player on their team, Kevin Campbell. This guy's been in the game since FIFA 13 and has never had a card that's not a performance-based card. Team of the season in FIFA 19 and a team of the season in FIFA 14 and then an inform last year. But again, he's an 81, make him an 84. He's got like 88 or 89 dribbling with 84 passing. He becomes like probably one of the most agile centre mids on the game. And then the other person I chose for a potential Leipzig, there's others as well, is the new Team of the Week card, because I think this would be not only expensive but also saucy, is that Gvardiol. Imagine this card getting an 84 rated road to the knockout stages and already starting off with 89 pace as a centre back. I don't know what Leipzig are looking like in the competition at the moment.
They got smashed by Man City, I remember that.
Oh yeah, that game was incredible.
And Kunku gave it a good go, but still got battered.
Yeah, 2 headers, they were incredible as well.
I mean, the other thing is there's no goalkeeper at the moment, so you could maybe say Gulatsky.
Yeah, Gulatsky, yeah.
Gulatsky's a shout.
Did you notice though, last year they did miss out goalkeepers from promos, didn't they? So I wonder whether they're just scrapping them now.
I was talking about how I'd love to have a David Ospina card just because Colombia. It would be nice to have that set for the year.
And not only that,
no Napoli card yet for the Europa League, so they're looking Team 2 maybe.
And that is exactly it as well. I think Napoli are desperate for a goalkeeper that's like usable in the game. Like you've got Koulibaly now, you've had Manolas for years, who's been an OP centre back. You just in order to be able to hybrid out or do other things, you just need that strong linking goalkeeper. And unfortunately,
that was man of the match last year.
He did, didn't he? Yeah,
he does get a few cards to Ospina nowadays.
Was it 82 rated last year?
82 rated man of the match, I think. Or
I remember using it a couple of times. Yeah.
I remember him being a staple with my team. I paid 40k for him and didn't regret it. Because I knew I was never getting rid of him. It was an investment for the times. But someone like Haustenberg would have been an okay shout as well.
Yeah.
Haustenberg
definitely
doesn't get special cards apart from his team
or
of the
performance.
season, I think.
Yeah, because he had a good year when he had
left back.
A couple of team of the weeks, didn't he?
A couple of team of the weeks and the team of the season at left back, I think, in FIFA either 19 or 20. Can't remember which.
And you look again, if they made him like an 83 or an 84, alright, he's still going to only have probably 70 pace, but he's going to have like 80, 84, 85 physical, 81 defending, 79 passing. He's going to look pretty good. He's going to look usable as a centre back, whereas right now he isn't.
And Kunku could even be a shout as well, to be fair. He hasn't had a special card. He's only had 3 informs and 2 team of the seasons. And those are performance-based at the end of the day, so yeah.
Sorry, since we're talking about RB Leipzig, I need to do some very quick research on a certain man.
I feel like we will get a Nkunku this year in some form, and I don't mean team of the season.
Yes.
I've got a feeling that that something will happen with this guy in a promo. Whether it be Scream, whether it be a bit further down the line, I'm not sure, but something tells me we're getting something special with this guy.
I don't think there's going to be a Halloween, because normally the Halloween, the like October Halloween-ish. I mean, to be fair, last year wasn't even Ultimate Scream anyway. It was the Rule Breakers. But that slot is always now until the end of October, so I just can't see waiting until Halloween is here or after Halloween to go, here's a Halloween-based promo for you guys. Because I think then...
The only reason I would say I don't know about that is purely because it seems like EA with the one to watch just went, oh, hang on, we're going to end this on Wednesday, and on Friday you're going to have a new promo. So I just wonder whether they've got that capability this year to go like, are we going to do this? Are we going to do this? Yeah, let's end that one 2 days early and let's do this.
Talking about Leipzig, though, there is a certain man who they couldn't give it to because it ones to watch, etc. Who I'd have much loved it to have gone to. He's only got one promo card from what I can see here. Or it might not even be that. I
Andre
think it must have been a team in a group stage. I don't think Andre Silva's ever had a promo card that's not a performance one.
Has he not?
He's had a team of the season. He's had an inform, another inform. Obviously the one to watch this year. Man of the match, domestic man of the match. He's got what I think's a team of the group stage. It's the only one that could be something non-performance based. If that's like it's one of the old style ones. It's like the orange outline of like FIFA 17.
Are you talking about the European team of the group stage one?
Possibly. I don't recognise the look of it.
Oh, the FIFA 17.
It's like 82 rated. It was
That's the man of the match.
Ronaldo back then.
That's man of the match. Yeah.
It is a man of the match.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, still performance based at that point. Andre Silva's never had a special card that's been non-performance based.
Yeah, and I mean, what would he be?
It'd
be an 86, wouldn't he?
I need it now. I'd inject it into my veins.
Yeah, he would be a nice looking 86 card.
He would be perfect for me. His 84 is already perfect. It's fine.
Haven't used it yet. Got it. I haven't used it.
I have, and talking of which, I did use him in this weekend's FUT Champs.
Good segue.
I do.
Oh yeah.
Good segue. Thank you. Did any of you guys play FUT Champs this weekend?
No.
I did.
You did, Mers? Okay, we'll get to you in a second. But my one started off pretty poorly. When I started streaming, it was a record of 1-3. But I did manage to eventually convert that with the help of the community, in all honesty, to a 9 and, well, about not a 9 out of 11, 9-11, I guess, but I'd say I gave away 4 wins and I had about 3 given to me. So it's a bit of give and take from the community of my one.
Which, by the way, I'm loving it.
Yeah,
by the way,
it is great. But I also had some bad experiences beforehand with 2 people who decided to quit on me at either 0-0 or 1 at 2-2, which was about 60 minutes in, which hurt.
I think the thing is that, don't you think as well though, that kind of is create like the giving away wins creates that problem as well. Like, would we be as bothered if it weren't for the fact that we're like, oh, other people are giving away wins and you're quitting when you're drawing, sort of thing.
Oh no, that's always infuriating. I'm pretty certain if you'd have got to about 60th minute, it's just wasting someone's time.
Yeah, that's
if
true.
it's in the first minute, you've just wasted someone's time, you wasted some contracts. It's like a bit more of a, okay, go, I hate you.
Yeah.
Whilst if it happens in my case, the 60th minute, but some people would have had this in the 120th. If someone's looking like they're through on goal, the equivalent of a Chiellini tug back on Saka. Sorry, yoink, you're not getting through. Have to play another game, start all over again. Like, honestly, if there's one thing that I would want EA to do, it is make it more like online friendlies, in the sense that we know this from when we're recording with each other. If we complete a full 90 and we draw, and then one of us quits, the other one gets a 3-0 win.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
That's an easy way to stop people just going, well, screw this guy. Like, I'm level. I'm just going to waste his time.
Yeah.
It's going to stop things like that from happening.
Yeah, I think if people manually quit, the other person shouldn't be punished for it.
Yeah, if someone disconnects, just straight up, if someone disconnects, win, lose, or draw position.
Yeah.
Like, the other person's still there, they've put time in technically, and just put it as a win rather than a reset match and go again.
I mean, it's not complicated at the end of the day for EA to implement it, because you've said it's on the friendlies. Yeah, exactly. So
I think that's a quick solution. Mers, how did your weekend get on?
I basically stopped at 4 wins because I just don't enjoy the champs at the moment. I go through the first 10, sat on like 2 and 8 yet again, and I'm like, fine, I'll just go for another 2 wins. Luckily, I got basically given 2 wins, so I got the 4 wins. I was like, fine. But then someone gave me another win whilst I was trying to give away wins, so I ended up finishing 5 and 15.
Yeah, you said that happened to you as well.
Exactly the same. So that was why it was 9 instead of 8. I didn't want to push on, but I was trying to be nice, and the other guy had the kick off and also felt nice. Yeah. And I was screaming no. And I was like, I don't bother quitting before them because they've got to play another match otherwise, and just take the win they're giving me.
Yeah.
What
I'd
rewards
say
did
my
you
red
get?
The
picks
intent's
were
the
nice.
intent's there
Red
though.
picks
That's the
are
good
nice.
thing. The intent is there.
Yeah, I'd say my red picks were nice. They're
Go
not
on.
exactly like super expensive considering like who they are. And
I'm waiting to
some
see
of
if we
the
match up
stats.
because I also got 2
Right.
red picks. So
Sounds like
who'd you get?
one of you at least got Navas.
So I got in the first one I had Yazbal as an option, but I took Lozano because I thought more pace, better, probably suited for attack. And then in the second one I got Rafinha.
Okay, so here's my
So-
ones. I got I got Lozano in the first one and a high-rated player that I turned down in Muller, and in the second one I got a whole
Yeah.
bunch of junk except for Rafinha. I'm not kidding.
So we basically got the
I'm
same.
not kidding. We got identical rewards, except I got 35k coins and a Team of the Week pack that was full of 81s. I got none, but they were terrible. My Team of the Week pack, absolutely atrocious. It was Blake. It was.
Oh,
I don't
God.
think it was even El Yanusi. It was like the other
Yeah.
two, not Guavidol, the other 83s that no one wants. No, the
Wow.
83s, 81s. I can't even remember them. Like Gary Rodriguez or something like that. And
Yeah.
Someone else.
Everyone got Gary. I saw that.
Yeah.
yeah, everyone got Gary, and I can't remember who the other one is. I'm
That's
gonna
tough
just
to take,
check
isn't it?
Team of the Week.
It's tough to take.
I mean, for your first technical elite finish, you'd hope for more, but hey, I'll take it.
No, fair play, fair play. So I didn't play FUT Champs this weekend, but I did see a little bit of the football. So obviously that would lead us to talk about some of the games this weekend, but also potential Team of the Week cards as well. But I'll tell you what, before I speak about the Team of the Week cards, let's go to your teams, because obviously we all support different teams. I technically don't support a team, but I follow Norwich. I live in Norwich. But yeah, so you obviously would have seen the Spurs game, and obviously we are, as far as I'm aware, that guy is having a recovery or is stable.
Thank God.
So I'm glad that has happened, and fair play to Reguilon and to Eric Dyer, alerting the officials very quickly to what was going on there. But generally about your performance, and obviously Kane finally getting on the score sheet. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I'm happy to see Kane get on the score sheet. If he did, in all honesty, I was already saying it before that we should probably drop him. Generally, just he's not the whole team.
Yeah,
He can be dropped like everyone else.
it was getting that way, wasn't it? I think.
Like if you say Bergwijn, I was saying once Bergwijn's fit, drop Kane, put Son striker for a game, Lucas Moura out wide, Bergwijn out wide, something like that, just to send a message really.
Yeah.
To send a message home, saying, "Oi, buck up your ideas."
Yeah, careful.
But honestly, it wasn't spectacular. First sort of a minute and a half, a diving header from Callum Wilson, and Dombley did bloody good.
He
in
did.
that game.
He did actually. Yeah, I've seen.
He
his
has
highlights.
spells. He has spells of us. So at the moment, he's on a good streak.
It's
but
like-
I'm not.
It's
accepting
always
his
like
form.
jury's out, isn't it? Always.
Yeah,
with him.
he's more a form player than anything else. So I'm going to reserve judgment on him until I see it a bit more consistently.
Yeah.
It was a cracking finish from Harry Kane, and a cracking finish from Eric Dyer as well. I swear to God, I'm very happy he was on hand in that game.
Yeah.
Like, as much as he made a terrible mistake in the game, I'm still glad we fielded him because it actually helped that fan out a bunch.
Yeah.
And Reguilon just said, contacting the referee immediately. Fortunately,
Yeah.
he's out on the left, close to the stand where that happened, so that's how
Yeah.
we've been alerted.
Yeah.
But it was not
I just think
spectacular.
after
Against 19th.
I think after the Ericsson incident in the World Cup, I just think it's just nice that again, like a terrible situation has brought out some positives about that, like not just about the way that they react to it, but actually what medical help there is in those games. Like there is, like you can literally, there's enough medical staff there, enough equipment there to literally save a life and get them stable on the way to hospital. Like it's not a case of, someone being out in the middle of nowhere and having to be, have got certain amount of minutes and time to get to hospital. Like they have some insane medics in those grounds and stuff. So yeah, fair play to them for doing that, and yeah, for the Ericsson incident as well. Mers,
My one concern with that though was Nuno. Nuno worried me a little bit with his immediate reaction to players being put off the pitch after a corner for us.
right.
He did go up to the referee and have some words.
Oh, okay.
Which, that was one thing
he
that
was
made
aware
me a
of
bit
the
like,
incident,
ooh.
or he?
I mean, he'd have seen someone run along the pitch with a defibrillator at that point, so
Yeah.
he would have had some inkling that something was happening.
Should have
so the
known
fact
enough.
he went to have a word with the ref
Mm,
does make me go a bit, ooh, like
Yeah.
that's
you might
not
not.
the best.
No, you might not be seen in the best light. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not exactly crowning glory there, but
And
yeah, you
Mers,
expect better against 19th.
Mers, 1
Yeah.
minute. 1 minute. Arsenal kick off in 1 minute.
1 minute until
Lineups: Aubameyang, Saka, Smith Rowe, Pepe, Partey, Odegaard, Tierney, Gabriel, White, Tomiyasu, and Ramsdale. Against Eduard, Benteke, Ayew, MacArthur, Milivojevic, Gallagher, Ward, Anderson, Gucci. Guehi. Who the hell's that?
Guehi.
I'll try and...
Mitchell and
He's
Guaita.
a young defender.
It's like Mark
Yeah.
Guay, isn't it? Something like that?
Is it? I've never seen this
think,
guy.
yeah.
Yeah,
Someone
Mark
they
Guay,
signed.
21-year-old. English as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was the guy they picked up from Chelsea, right?
Was he?
Yeah, he's on loan, I think. Oh no! It's one.
Or is that
They've
the
got
other one?
two people from Chelsea. One on loan and one they actually brought. Can't remember which way
So
round.
this guy went from Chelsea under 23s to Swansea, and then you've got him from Swansea. Is this a loan or
Okay.
is this? I can't see on there, unfortunately. Oh no, there we go.
I think Gallagher.
Yeah, so it looks-
Gallagher's the loan.
Yeah, so he went to
Oh,
loan.
okay.
He went to loan from Chelsea to Swansea, came back to Chelsea, and then they sold him to you in July. So yeah, he's sold him to Crystal Palace. Sorry, yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be interesting. English 21-year-old centre back, nice to see. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this? Obviously, it's a tough time
It's
for
pretty
Arsenal at
much
the moment.
It's wow. It's not that tough. I mean, since our sort
12
of
says otherwise.
bad start to the season where we're bottom of the table, since like Gabriel's come back into that team,
Mhm.
we've only conceded one goal, and that was against Tottenham,
And Tommy
which
Yasu's
we won
been good as
anyway.
well.
Yeah, the Tomiyasu's been absolutely amazing.
Interestingly, one of the only 5-star weak foots on the game as a centre back. I think he's a centre back on the game, isn't he?
He's centre back on the game, but he plays right back
Yeah.
for us basically.
He's
Yeah,
top.
I was looking at this. There's only 2 5-star weak footers on centre backs on the FIFA game. Interesting.
Interesting. Who's the other?
It's
Or is it someone
Kera.
unheard of? Oh, Philo Kera.
Yep, and then weirdly,
Wow.
there's only 2 5-star weak foot goalkeepers, but they both. So one of them strong links to Kera, the other one weak links to Tomiyasu. That is Fraser Forster and Nubel, the guy who transferred over to Monaco.
Yeah.
So they're now strong linked to Kera. So yeah, if you wanted a 5-star weak foot team for like a Champs Challenge or something, you can make it with the links there. But yeah, do you think that you're on the rise now then?
I think we're still struggling badly in front of goal. Like, yeah, sure, we scored 3 goals against Spurs, but all the other games we've either failed to score or we've only just managed to win by like 1 goal. I think this game's going to be a sort of similar situation. I feel like it's either going to be a ball draw or it's just going to be like maybe a 1-0 to someone. But Crystal Palace have actually been dominating the big teams so far this season. They've had more than 50% possession against Leicester and Tottenham so far this season.
Bear in mind there
in the
was a
games
red
that
card
they
in the
played.
Spurs game, though.
Yeah.
God,
There was
that is a
for that
factor
one.
for about like the last 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So if it's close, it might have swayed then, but not getting too
They're
defensive.
probably they were sort of partially dominating you before that happened, I'd say.
It's true.
But yeah, they've definitely changed their style of play this season under Patrick Vieira, Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But another thing I found out today about Crystal Palace is they've spent 30 mil more under Patrick Vieira than the whole entire time whilst Roy Hodgson was there.
That's interesting.
So Roy barely spent any money basically whilst he was there at the club.
They probably said he weren't allowed to.
To be fair, they did do a fair few loan deals back when Roy was
Yeah,
there. So
loans,
like Klein,
freeze as
is
well.
one I can think of.
Because obviously you got Gary Cahill on a free, didn't they?
True, yeah.
Yeah,
they were more
yeah.
shrewd back there. They did say that Vieira would be backed immediately. Was one thing I recall seeing. Because when everyone saw the amount of free transfers they were letting go, people were like, "Oh, Palace can get relegated." And then immediately next day or something, the Palace chairman came out and said, "We will be backing Vieira a lot in this transfer window."
Yeah, which is good because
they did.
You know they need to, and it surely is now make or break time for Zaha, in terms of staying or going. I feel like it's gotten to the point now where he really does need to consider moving on before it gets too late almost.
He's considered it. It's whether the club, if he signed too long a deal, basically.
Yeah. Maybe he'll be on Newcastle's radar with all this money they got. So team of the week predictions. The one I'm looking at, just FUTBin. There are others out there, obviously. So the main staple player, obviously, in this is going to be Lewandowski. Scored 2. I personally was hoping, because he got subbed off, and my team has changed since then, so I no longer have the Bundesliga side that I did have. But I was hoping that it was going to be Gnabry, because Gnabry also scored 2, and he stayed on the full 90 minutes, whereas Lewandowski came off. But a 93 team of the week. Lewandowski looks good. 80 pace, 93 shooting, 87 dribbling. But I wouldn't be surprised if that turns around and isn't Lewandowski and turns out to be Gnabry. Haaland as well, for his that card looks insane. 90 pace, 93 shooting, 89 physical, for his penalty and his goal. At the end of the game, they won 3-1, I think. The main one for the games that I saw this weekend, obviously Bobby getting his hat-trick. I mean, generally Liverpool looked insane again. And Salah, I mean, the guy is just making defenders right now look stupid. He's like standing so many of them up, putting them on their arse, and at the end of it, basically just like finessing it in the far corner or just tapping it in past the goalkeeper. He's literally wrong footing about 3 or 4 different players every time he gets in that box. He's insane at the moment. The second in form already for Felipe Anderson, so I haven't actually seen what happened in the Lazio game, so I'm just going to have a quick check while I'm on live score, and I will update you with the Arsenal score as we go along. So Felipe Anderson scored 1 goal, only 1. Milinkovic-Savic scored, and so did Immobile. So it's obviously he obviously did a lot more in that game than just score, which is obviously why he's got his potential team of the week. We've got Yuri Tielemans from Leicester. Leicester played really well again. I don't know what happened in that game. Like, I was watching it and I was like, oh, this is kind of going to be a bit of a back and forth battle, and maybe this will end as a draw. And then suddenly it went from like 1-1 to 4-2. It's insane. Guendouzi, I saw he scored 2 for Marseille, so he's got a nice looking CDM card. The other main staple from the Premier League, Ogbonna, obviously with their 1-0 win against Everton. That's it, away from home. And then Edouard Mendy, what a performance for a goalkeeper. Insane. He did, didn't he? Yeah, literally, like his reactions.
One to the face.
The one to the face. His reactions though, and the way he closes down, like so quickly, is insane. Like I know what they're saying about like, how was he not considered for the Ballon d'Or? I get it a little bit. And then other sort of bigger ones, you've got Ilicic, because I think he scored 2 or 3, and João Pedro, because I saw that he scored 2 or 3 as well. Nice looking cards there. If you guys are getting reds, who do you want really?
So if
for your team,
for my team,
I personally would say because I'm not going to be too fussy. I'd say Guendouzi looks like a nice all-round card. It'd be interesting to see, because on here, on my screen, it doesn't show who they predict to be the featured team of the week.
Yeah, true.
So, I doubt it would be Guendouzi anyway, because they tend to give it to someone who's slightly like the 81, 82s, and then upgraded to the 83, 84 or something like that.
Yeah.
Guendouzi would be nice. Felipe Anderson would be nice as well. I think that would be obviously asking for a Haaland. I think would just be a little bit ambitious. I feel
a nice
little bit ambitious.
Sub,
I'd even take a Mendy personally as well, because to be fair, he's like quite an OP-ish goalkeeper so far this year.
6'6", I think, isn't he?
Yeah, he's basically that Pope height as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he'll be nice. The problem is like after you look at those sort of like the main ones, and then Guendouzi, Anderson, it does sort of tail off.
Yeah.
Very quickly for what there is. Otherwise, it's basically fodder realistically.
Yeah, it's a shame that like Tielemans' pace is so low, because actually the rest of his stats make him a really good card.
Yeah, yes. Like if he had, I don't know, even just like low 70s.
Yeah, I'd say like 72 pace would make him an insane card.
Yeah. It's a bit weird. It's only 7 difference, but we're saying 7 difference makes such a big difference between whether you want to use that card or not want to use a card.
Well, I think so, because when you get that 7 difference, we're also then like adding in the fact that we'd put a catalyst or something on this card, and it'd actually by the end of it be more like 80 pace as a centre mid. So yeah, that's the things that you consider, isn't it?
Just a goal update. Aubameyang has scored for Arsenal.
There you go.
That was about a minute ago, and I've been trying to say it for about the last minute. I tried to jump in, but not at the moment. But yeah, 1-0 Arsenal. About 8 minutes in.
Go on, Arsenal. Score more than one
there
goal.
You go.
Prove me that you can actually score goals. That's what we want.
As for Red Picks, I've won. I'm mainly Bundesliga or Ferran Torres, who sadly is injured for 3 months, so I have to pray for a promo card.
Okay, so you're basically
give me a Man City. When Man City get one of these, just make sure it's Ferran Torres, and I'll be okay with it.
So you're looking at Lewandowski or Haaland, then realistically.
Pretty much, yeah. Haaland would upgrade my Haaland, and Lewandowski would upgrade my Haaland. So that would be nice.
I mean, what I would say is if they can switch Lewandowski for Gnabry, I'd definitely be happy with that. I'd want to get Gnabry all day fucking long.
Me too.
Day long.
So I used him. I had him, Emre Can, and Want to Watch Marlon making up my my sort of right triangle in a 4-4-2. I then changed to 4-3-1-2 in game. But because I packed Ousmane Dembele, and I did Titty's card, I then thought, and I did Fekir's card, so I was like, okay, I now need to change this round a bit. So I've gone and bought Pogba to fill out the rest of my midfield there. So now my team has completely changed. So I've just got Gnabry, Want to Watch Marlon, that just kind of sitting there. But yeah, I think Gnabry getting the upgrade. I wouldn't be surprised if Haaland ends up being the highest rated of his team of the week, and Lewandowski turns into Gnabry.
Well, I mean, Haaland getting a penalty, and was it a penalty and assist, or was it penalty and goal?
Penalty and a goal.
Is that enough for Haaland to get a
I don't think
card?
So.
When you look at certain players, there's certain ones, when they're the really high rated ones, they got to do that little bit more to get the special card.
I think so, yeah. Well, it seems that way, doesn't it?
A penalty plus, unless this is an absolute thunderstrike, then it probably wouldn't be enough.
No, I agree.
In my opinion, but
I agree.
Whilst I'm on the topic of stuff here, they have actually brought out something else on FIFA today. From what I can see, they brought out some swaps for the FGS stuff coming out.
Oh, okay.
So you can get your tokens for your 100k packs from watching EA streams again.
Yep. Okay.
Just as a little sort of minor point here.
Yeah, something to leave on in the background.
7.5k pack. Yeah, just remember to mute stream and just leave it on for an hour and job's done. So yeah, you got your premium gold pack, premium gold players pack, 45k pack in the prime gold, and a 100k pack for 4 being jumbo rare players pack.
Nice.
And also, if I remember rightly from last year, the 4th token was earned around when Team of the Year was released as well. So 100k pack for Team of the Year potentially on the cards.
Take that.
Wouldn't be too bad of a shout. Yeah,
Might
take
be
that.
good.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, could get a Team of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
Not too
Especially
shabby.
with especially with the fact that like packs now have a guaranteed minimum rating for a lot of them.
Mm.
So someone do we know what the 100k pack minimum rating is?
I'll get back to you on that.
I think it's 84.
I had one the
Okay.
other day, but didn't.
Yeah,
Didn't
I think I think I saw it, and it's 84.
Okay.
That's I mean, it would have been nice if
No,
it was
I know it
maybe
is
a
in
bit
fact
higher on
because
that.
I questioned
Yeah.
why they are suddenly min rating 84 plus, and an ultimate pack doesn't have any.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
that seems strange.
Was it an untradeable 100k pack you had? Because if so, that might be.
No. I was watching. Who was it opening their rewards? Bateson.
Rewards, okay.
Yeah,
fair
it was
enough.
Bateson's rewards. Yeah,
Okay.
and he had. So yeah, he had a tradable. He had his tradable pack,
100k.
and
Yeah.
yeah, it was just strange. I just thought, oh, that's weird that I've just noticed that says 30 rare players and the other one says 84 plus. But
Well, I think that is pretty much everything covered with Team of the Week. So a new segment that we've got for this week is viewers have sent in some questions for us. So we've got a
We'll
little
keep
bit
it
of
clean.
a Q&A
Mm.
section right here. It will be clean, don't you worry. Basically, I did make sure nothing too ridiculous like in terms of the questions. So I'm just going to head over to Twitter right now.
Mhm. If there's anything I can
And-
think of, it's us dealing with stuff spontaneously. It's like a specialist sort of thing of both of ours. All three of ours, I should say. I'm really good
Wow,
on
I
the spur
think-
at the moment. So good.
I think
Look at me in
straight
the
off the
draft,
bat
I'm
anyway, you have already seen one of these questions anyway,
Thank
Luke.
God.
So we're going to go over the first question. So he's asked, in your guys' opinion, what are some of the most overvalued or undervalued cards in FUT in terms of value in-game versus the current cost of the card, basically off the market? So, obviously, Luke, I think you already jokingly said a certain
I'm not
name,
gonna
so
say.
I'll let you...
I'm not gonna say him.
You're not
going
gonna
to
say him?
I'm not gonna do it. Everyone
too
knows my
easy.
thoughts on that one player. I don't even. I've already mentioned them in this episode. They've had their moment. They've had their moment in the promo section. Honestly, undervalued cards that I personally like is someone who I link to him. I actually really like Kostic. Kostic, in
Okay.
my opinion, got a decent whip of the ball, enough pace, and he can also get stuck. He's got 70 defending. That's why I like him in my 3-5-2.
do you know what I'm
You
even
can
going
get
to do?
stuck
I'm going
in
to
on the
write some of
wings.
these down because there's some players that I haven't used.
So
He's got low shooting though, doesn't he?
He doesn't have the worst shooting in the world. But
82?
He's still chipped in with some goals for me. Like Kostic is solid all-round player.
I'm going to write
He's
these
grabbed
down and
the
they might
stats
feature
for
in a future
Right.
episode.
Right now, Kostic 84 has got 77
Wow.
shooting, which you can boost. 88 pace, 80 physical, 82 passing, 83 dribbling, 68 defending.
Yeah,
6
that's-
foot,
He's good.
high,
That's all round. That is.
great all-round player.
Mm-hmm.
And he's worth like what, $1,500 as an 84. That's a very cheap player who can do bits for you.
Okay.
You nothing fancy with skill moves, nothing fancy with. I don't think even weak foot, which is a bit of a downfall, is his weak foot being 2-star. But it's a left-footed player. Whip it in on the left wing, and as I say, can get stuck in.
Fair player. Someone
I
I
mean,
will try.
For me, in terms of undervalue, I've got two informs that I just like enjoyed using so much this FUT Champs. The first one, I'm just gonna have to get this out of the way, right? Because it's gonna make me feel a bit sick right now. Christian Romero.
I knew it. I knew as soon as I heard sick. I knew it.
Christian Romero. The guy was like, every time I needed that defender to come in and make that tackle or be in the right place, that guy was that man. And to be fair, like his defensive stat, he's got 85 defending, 86 physical. Yes, he's only got 78 pace, but low high work rates makes him work his arse off when it comes to defending, and slap a shadow on him. Yeah, the pace at the moment doesn't really seem to need to be
Shadow
there.
or catalyst, so he's got something to pass out the back with.
No offensive player seems to truly be able to get away from my defenders at the moment. Even if they're got 99 pace at the moment, and I'm using a 75 pace defender, and I haven't even bothered to put a shadow or anchor on him, my defender's still able to catch up with them. I think that's always normally the case anyway. People go, what's the point of having pace if that 75 pace player can easily catch up with my 99 pace player? And then the other one, again, Luke will like this, Diaz.
Yeah.
Porto winger. The guy has been the best winger that I've used so far this FIFA.
Still dead cheap.
You were talking about Ousmane Dembele. That guy is doing my head in. He's overvalued in my opinion. That guy does my head in.
I love him in game. I'm not gonna lie, I love him.
Absolutely hate him.
He's one player that I used in a draft for the first time before I'd ever thought about buying him, or I did buy him. Obviously, I packed him the second time this year as well. Before I used him in a draft, and I just couldn't believe how agile he was. It was literally I could just run through and around everyone. The ball stuck to him. I loved it. Thought he was brilliant. For me, underrated, Chiesa. I think he's really agile, really good this year, and I think, what is he now? He's got to be under 4K. Let's have a look.
I mean, so many players are so cheap anyway.
They are now, 2,200.
Yeah.
There you go. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy price. Obviously, we're sort of saying these, and we're at a market that is in the mud and probably isn't going to recover, if it even does at all. If I'm looking at centre backs in my team, and probably never going to be getting rid of, is Rudiger. He is like a wall. I love him in the game, and he's 1,300 coins. Who else have I used under? And Muriel up top. I think the guy's insane.
Making me smile a lot today, aren't we?
The guy's insane,
Yeah.
and when you think that I'm then basically saying that Muriel and Chiesa up top, that's a nice link up there. So
Diaz down the left hand side, Romero at the back. It sounds ideal, lads.
Sounds
ideal.
Sounds like Luke's team. I really love them. If I actually now look at my team and tell you what I've got in there and who I think. So, Timo's probably still in the expensive bracket, isn't he? Technically, it is. It's pretty much in my team. The only one of those is Rudiger, but I love the card,
that is about 10k.
And I think Emre Can,
Yeah.
before I now have to get rid of him because he just no longer fits for chemistry. I think as a CDM or centre mid, I was playing him, but having him stay back again, 1,300 coins. At the time I got him, I think it was 15k or something. But he's insane. That brings me to, as I look at my bench, have you guys done your heroic heights?
No.
Okay.
No. Oh yes,
Not
I have
fully.
on my other account.
Your lone hero. Yeah, who'd you get?
Yeah, I got Joe Cole.
Nice.
Who did you
I
get?
got David Ginola.
Oh
there we
wow!
go.
Damn.
Yeah, so expect to see him in some future
that's
episodes
going-
on the FSB channel.
Wow.
So he looks insane. I couldn't believe it. In terms of overpriced, I'm gonna see. I feel like I'm gonna upset people, but also people are gonna disagree with me. Mbappe.
100%. Oh, okay, yeah, that's a...
Okay,
that's gonna
that's a
upset some
bit of a
people.
hot take.
That's interesting.
The guy's 1.7 million, and so far this year, when
yeah.
I've used him in a draft, I only notice his pace.
That's a key part of him. Yeah, that'll do it.
Literally is it. I've not
This?
noticed him to be as good
Good
as he
finishing.
was last year. Last year I loved him. He was his gold rare card was in my team since I packed him. He was in there all the way to the end. But this year, yeah.
So are we saying you didn't like his shooting or anything like that?
Yeah, I just didn't
that a
like
bit
his
subpar?
finish. Didn't like his finishing.
Dunno.
Didn't really like how he felt on the ball, other than just being able to
I
run.
haven't used him. Going back to your
Interesting.
Chiesa comment as well, by the way, I ended up finding the Silver Star is actually fairly similar to Chiesa in terms of stats and actually on field. I actually think this Olsen Silver Star is actually pretty damn good.
I have done them both.
If you do them side by side, they're actually fairly similar, apart from there's slightly less dribbling, and that's mainly because his reactions are low.
Yeah.
I have done them both actually this year, and I've got 2 silver Team of the Week strikers still as well, in Nilsson and Cisse, which I'm probably now going to sell because I've got my team. I've got 2 Team of the Week cards now, so I probably will do that. But yeah, what about you guys? Overpriced cards?
I think Mers
Usman Dembele.
Usman Dembele shout. I didn't actually say one who I think, which honestly, there's not anyone who I've personally used that's particularly overpriced. I'm trying to think of people I've played against who I was shocked by. Who have I properly played? Give me a second. It's completely on the cusp of who I've played. R9 was absolutely insane.
Yeah, he is ridiculous. Yeah.
Do you know what? So actually, here's one I've used that I wasn't the most impressed with. It might be a bit of a hot take. Joshua Kimmich. His 89 rated card's not been... It's in my team at the moment, but it's not anything like insane. It's not like...
Last year.
It doesn't perform like you'd expect an 89 to perform as like a CDM.
Okay.
I'd say there are better people in his position. I think I probably prefer Zakaria.
That actually brings me to another player in his position, who's over $500,000. Kante. Has anyone used him this year?
No, I haven't, but he's absolutely bossed me about.
Okay.
That's one I couldn't say.
I would expect it for him being that price, because like when I had to choose between like who was going to play my central centre mid, Pogba or Kante, it was basically price. So yeah.
Yeah, and Pogba is surprisingly a lot cheaper. I did use Pogba. He was all right. Like he might be another one I put into that category. He was a bit so-so for me, but I did play him in the first week when I was very much bad. Very, very much bad at FIFA. So we'll see. But yeah, I think there's better players you could get at centre mid. Honestly, like I wouldn't be shocked if Sabitzer feels like he's not going to be as good defensively, but Sabitzer I reckon would feel decent enough.
I've looked at that card a couple of times this year.
I reckon Chan's better. Chan's probably better than him.
Chan has been ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm gutted that I've got to get rid of him. Really.
Like, there's certain things you'd expect from certain players, and he just doesn't do quite that at the moment for me. Maybe it will come in time. I've still got him. He's untradeable. He's there till an expensive SBC I want to do's there, but he's just not doing it.
Okay, going on to the next question asked by Cobra. He's asked, what is our best players that we've packed so far this year? So I'm going to start. In terms of value, the best player that I've packed is Son. I don't think, to be fair, like that's most of the market
Spurs
anyway
player.
is quite low.
He's mentioned a lot of Spurs players.
Yeah, best player. I've
spoke as much about Arsenal as he has.
Just want to clarify, so.
It is a Spurs player, but I did sell him.
Who's he play for?
So he plays for Spurs.
Okay.
No,
but to be fair, I do find I pack a lot of...
Normally you get a cough and cold when you mention this, and you're suddenly cured. The man's cured.
Yeah. And how much was he?
I mean, to be fair, I do find that I pack a lot of Spurs players on this game, on any FIFA. In terms of how much I sold him for, I think it was about 290.
Nice.
Or something like that. So, yeah, admittedly, I could have probably got a bit more if I had actually sold him during the trial rather than waiting for the full release, thinking, do you know what? They're going to go up in price, aren't they?
Yeah, just thinking, they're not bringing out FIFA points for people to open up immediately.
Yeah. Well, no, because the big meta players though, every year, if you look at like a price chart.
Oh yeah, but this is the first year they've gone. Here's some free FIFA points.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No
was the thing that caught
no one could account for it, could they? So.
Everyone.
Yeah, but that was during the trial though. Don't forget, and the trial was. Early access. The Ultimate Edition early access was actually when the high point is. So that was after the 4,600 points. Not before. Sorry, that's what I should have said. But yeah, it was after the game actually then got released, and then obviously we had one to watch, and just suddenly the market just went and took a massive nosedive.
Yes.
But what about you guys? What's value-wise, or even untradeable or something like that? What's the best you've packed?
For me, it's Pogba. For me, it's Pogba during early access. Netted me a good probably 160, 140. But I also, if we're talking about special cards, did pack a tradable Upamecano one to watch. So that's just coming along nicely.
Nice.
Staying at 100k.
Same. I did that.
Ready for when he's going to get an upgrade to then immediately sell him beforehand. That's the plan.
The hype.
Can I?
Yeah, because to be fair, during the game over the weekend, he did go up by like about 10k or something like that.
Can I technically say that I'm still waiting?
Yeah.
So I've packed Ousmane Dembele twice. I think this time now they're both tradable. So the one that I've got in my team is actually tradable. And I think he's now like 90k. I'm pretty sure when I first packed him, he was about 120. But yeah, other than that, I've not actually packed like an absolute banger. I've packed like several walkouts. I've packed like a couple of Benzemas, a couple of Luis Suarez. But yeah, of that value, no one significant.
Okay.
Because I've got Pogba untradeable on this account, and I've got Bruno Fernandes as well untradeable on this account. Yeah.
Right, David Ginola. Write down loan Ginola.
No, because you can't use it for budget builder face off, which is the episode this week. You can use it for you.
I don't put no restrictions on loans. We welcome all comers with whatever budget.
Right, next question. What have we got here? Now, this one's an interesting one. So, from good old Gurk, we have Mo Salah. Is Mo Salah the best player in the world at the moment? And he says, in his opinion, he is. But obviously, it's our opinions right now. So, I want to hear what you guys think. Do you think, at the moment in time, Salah is the best player in the world? Ahead of like Messi, ahead of Lewandowski, ahead of CR7, Haaland maybe, Mbappe I guess is also possibly a consideration, but I wouldn't say Mbappe is anywhere near the best in the world. But what do you guys think?
I just have to let my cat out, but I think I got the gist of that. Is basically is he world class or is he?
No, is he the best?
Is he the best? Is he in the conversation?
Is he the best?
Is he the best? It's such a tough question because what we're looking at. So let's first of all just take his position, right? So he's right wing, yeah. So is he the best in his current position? Well, he's not the best. I mean, you've got Messi knocking around. I know he's not hit the ground running necessarily for PSG at the moment, but
is Messi playing right wing for PSG? Because I know.
I think so.
He's more come into the middle, hasn't he? Like as a centre forward or something like that.
No, I think Mbappe's still been playing up centre forward.
I thought Mbappe was on the left.
When
Neymar was playing?
No, because every time I've seen PSG play, Mbappe's been on the left.
Interesting. Maybe they're just really fluid.
That's it. That's exactly.
Yeah, the front three are probably being told. You're all. Well, who am I to tell you guys where to play? Play we want.
Yeah,
exactly.
But in terms of current form, he's the best in his position right now. But we're 8 games in, so there's a lot can happen. But if he maintains this, then he will have been the best player in that position. I don't feel like you could say about him being the best in the world because obviously I can't compare him to like a centre back or a central midfield or anything. So but in his position right now, on his form, yes.
Do you think maybe he should deserve the Ballon d'Or? Because I suppose if he's the best in the world, then surely he should be the one that wins the Ballon d'Or. So I guess
if only that was how this worked.
Saying. Yeah.
If only that was how it worked and it wasn't based on your team's performance as well.
Jorginho's a shoe-in.
Yeah, Jorginho I think has got more chance. I'll be honest with you. I will be
Such
honest
a
with
weird one with the Jorginho. I don't think he deserves it personally, but
No, but this is the thing. This is why I don't like it, because
Yeah.
in a way, like, it's annoying that they do take into consideration the team performance. So yeah, in that sense, he probably will get it ahead of him. But it's just it is what it is.
what about you, Luke? Do you think Salah's the best in the world at the moment?
Honestly, it depends on how you look at it. As Brad said, it depends whether you take it off of recent form, if you take it off of years that he's done it for, like longevity, or how are we talking? He's done it for a fair while. He's been one of the top goal scorers in the Premier League the last 4 seasons. He's been consistent ever since he joined Liverpool. Even he was decent enough at Roma, was semi-consistent, so he's been doing it since then in multiple leagues.
Yeah.
But you've got to look at it from a current form perspective as well. He's on fire. Is he the most informed player at the moment? You could say he's definitely across any position. You could say yes, he's one of the best, if not the best. You know, if we're looking at informed players at the moment, players that are just thriving, you put him amongst him, Lewandowski, Benzema. All three are currently in an absolute storm. As I say, Messi's looking like he's struggling. Haaland as well.
Yeah.
But I'd say more leaning towards the 3 that I said there.
And plus, Haaland has
in
only
terms of
just now
recent
come
form.
back from an injury, so
Yeah, so as I say, that negates the whole form situation I'm talking about. So Haaland's not in that conversation yet. Give him a couple of weeks, maybe he will.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think at the moment, currently, he is right now, this second, yes, is my answer. With the goal against City, the goal against Watford, those were not just ordinary goals. If Messi does that, people freak out across the world. Ronaldo does that, people freak out across the world. He's done that in back-to-back weeks.
Yep.
And Liverpool fans are justified in ranting and raving about that. If anyone did that for your club, you'd absolutely be hearing about it, especially if it was one of the GOATs.
And this is the thing I think is annoying, is that like it does seem to just go amiss, like because I don't know what it is, the reasons, but it does. It seems to go amiss that this like isn't being talked about enough. How good that goal is. Like, don't get me wrong, obviously, come on to Match of the Day and you'll see them talk about it, and that's fine. But generally, if that's Match of the Day, so that's a program that we will all watch. Yeah, I don't watch any league in football, but I'll certainly hear about a goal that Messi scored.
Yeah, the one against Man City, for example. Well, pretty much the only one he scored. But
yeah, like I won't have to watch the game, but I'll hear about it because that's just how it goes because of him being Messi. I wouldn't have to have watched Ronaldo in the Serie A last year, but if he scored a goal, I'd have heard about it. And
exactly, and on social media you would hear about it
all the time.
Messi and Ronaldo
all the time.
Yeah, like the whole thing with Salah being the best in the world, obviously people just get labelled as Liverpool fanboys at the moment or delusional. But genuinely, I think he is at the moment, on form, the best player in world football at the moment.
Yeah, he's definitely in that conversation and ahead of it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's like, because he does say at the moment, and based on at the moment and taking maybe the past year of like everyone's performance, he's definitely had one of the best performances out of all players in the past 12 months, basically.
Oh, if you take him out that Liverpool team doesn't perform nearly as well.
No.
If you took Mane out and put in, as I say, Jota, or you took out Firmino, or you took out the people you could take out of certain teams. If you take Son out of Tottenham do nothing at the moment. You take Salah out of Liverpool, you take maybe Van Dijk out of Liverpool, maybe Alisson out of Liverpool. Those Robertson, Tsimikas has done a good job as a deputy. So Trent, debatable. I don't think they have incredible cover for Trent. I think it's Milner. So as much as Milner go blah, 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 like he would be one that by default, if you took him out, there wouldn't be anything spectacular. So you could include Trent in that argument. But a lot of players, if you take them out of a team, that's when you know they are a class player that cannot easily be replaced. Mane's starting to hit his stride again, but it's pretty much up front the Salah show at the moment. Yeah. As much as Firmino's got a hat trick and brace for Mane possibly, it's pretty much Salah that's been the star of the show in my opinion.
Yep.
exactly. And also, in some ways, like teams would add an extra man to try and cover someone like Salah, which actually, in some ways, opens up space for the likes of Bobby Firmino, who could then go and get like the hat trick that he did. So again, it shows like opposition teams fear a player like Salah because they're like going, we need to make sure that we're making like extra coverage on that guy on defense because we're worried that he's going to tear us a new one, and that is exactly what he's doing in some ways.
My one concern about the Firmino performance, by the way, was how, just because I know that, you know, if people hear this, they'll say, "Oh, he must be a Liverpool fan, not a Spurs fan." But honestly, the amount of slack that Ronaldo's been getting for being a tapping merchant was how many of those goals? I think 2 of those goals were tap-ins.
Yeah.
For Firmino, literally open goal tap-ins. So we're not going to say Firmino is doing incredibly at the moment. In the same vein that Ronaldo is not doing incredibly if we're classing the tap-ins.
No, of course not.
Yeah, exactly. No. But that is it for the Q&A section this week. But listeners, if you want to get involved, obviously make sure to head over to Twitter and go to the FSB Creators Twitter channel. And when I tweet out, you guys can post some comments on there. There is also a section on Spotify that you can add questions onto as well. But there was no one on there, so all these questions come from Twitter. But guys, that is it for this week's podcast. Obviously, we're going to have Team 2 for the knockout stage this week. So maybe we might see some brand new faces in Team 2, or it might just be the same case of seeing the same old, I guess.
Yeah, you can expect the same conversation on the podcast next week.
Yeah,
basically.
Cindy or Mertens show up, we know what's happening.
Yeah, basically we're just going to do the same episode next week. In fact, what we'll do is we'll just do this episode and I'll just re-upload it,
just tag it on the
and
end.
just see if anyone
with
notices
different
it,
Q&A
basically.
questions, maybe.
Yeah,
You never know.
Yeah, just edit a little bit here and there. Yeah, but guys, thank you for listening to today's podcast. Obviously, thank you for being here with me for the podcast today as well, Brad and Luke.
Pleasure as
always a pleasure.
Oh,
No
okay,
problem.
Back to back, or back to front.
That's all
front
right.
to back.
Don't forget that there's also going to be the squad building episode this week, which will be budget builder face off, which will hopefully be available on Thursday, and then we have the bonus draft builder released on Saturdays. So make sure you keep your eyes posted for that on our YouTube channel, which is FSB Creators. Links to which you'll find in the description down below, and also links to all our socials, our channels on Twitch and on YouTube. So guys, thank you for listening, and we'll see you all next week, or you will hear us next week. Bye bye.
Peace out, guys.